Welcome, listeners, to another episode of the show. I am your host with the most, Chris Talks. Hope that you're having a good day because I am definitely having a good one. All right, y'all? Yes. Thank you, Sound God. Thank you, Sound God. All right, let's get right into today's topic, listeners. So let's get right into it. Today's topic is about false accusations of domestic violence against men. All right, now, this happens a whole lot against men. And a lot of time it's not discussed. It happens a lot against women, but a lot of time it's not discussed amongst men. So on this episode, I wanted to discuss false accusations of domestic violence against men. Okay, a complicated and sensitive issue that requires a thoughtful and nonchalant approach. Okay, while it is important to acknowledge that domestic violence can affect anyone, regardless of gender, it is equally important to address the specific challenges and misconceptions surrounding false accusations against men. And this is what this episode is about, is to pay attention to that. Now, today I have a guest. Today we have a yes, 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 yes. Yes, today we have a guest, and my guest name is Clayton. He's yeah, thank you for that. My guest name today is Clayton. He's a really good buddy of mine, but apparently, you know, things happen. So he is somebody who I know who has been dealing with this issue. And so today, we're going to have him on the show, and I'll let him describe to you what type of challenges that he's been having to dealing with the type of issues of being falsely accused of domestic violence, which a lot, and I mean a lot of people deal with. What was the statistics? Okay, well, the statistics say it like this. Research says that 2% out of 2% out of 10% of all domestic violence reports are false. So, like, that's like a big thing, and it should be. To anybody, it should be. I don't know, to all my listeners, how many of y'all have been accused or falsely accused of domestic violence and actually had to sit in jail or bail yourself out of jail because of this. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's get my guest. Let's get into it, y'all. All right, yeah. All right. Before we get to him, we're going to get him on the line. So before we get him on the line, because we're going to get him on the line, I do want to mention some things that a lot of people, they don't know about what these false accusations really do to a man. It messes, in some cases, it messes with his self-esteem. A lot of times, his self-esteem. A lot of times, his confidence. It's a lot of things that it interferes with, as far as being a man and being falsely accused of something like domestic violence, which most of the time gets you locked up. Okay? And in a lot of situations, all right, there's like this stigma right? You know, like this stigma on domestic violence situations. You know, men who are falsely accused of domestic violence situations. You know what I'm saying? They can go through a lot of different what's the word that I'm looking for? A lot of different like type of traumas and stuff. And some of them can be long lasting, messing with their mental effect, like their mental health. You know what I'm saying? And then in some of these situations, a lot of men who are falsely accused in these, like in a lot of these situations, like really seriously, it messes with their job. Okay, so it does mess with their flow of money. You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? Because a lot of men, even in let's say, what's this, the entertainment industry. You know what I'm saying? Like when you go to the basketball stars, the store, all that stuff, even superstars. A lot of them are falsely accused of domestic violence. And a lot of times, this is what happens. It doesn't happen to women, but it does happen to men. Men tend to lose their employment. Men who are falsely accused of domestic violence lose, a lot of times they lose their jobs, or they have to suffer through they have to face some type of discipline, some type of action, some type of action against them. And a lot of men go through this. Now, my guest that I'm going to bring on, I want y'all to hear his story. To all my listeners, I really want y'all to listen and hear his story, because he was falsely accused of domestic violence, and I just want y'all to hear what he went through. So when we get him on the line, yeah, when we get him on the line, Sky a few questions for him, and I hope everybody does pay attention. You know what I'm saying? Really, seriously. But before we get right into that, let's pay these bills. All right. Y'all already know. If you like this content and want to hear more of it, oh, here we go. Hello, Mr. Clayton.
Yo,
Yes, we were just talking about you.
okay.
All right, I'm about to pay the bills real quick. Let me pay the bills.
Yeah.
All right. If you like this content and want to hear more of it, y'all already know what to do. Check me out on YouTube, and also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, all those social media platforms. You know what I mean? So let's get right into this, because he just called right up like this, right up. So, Mr. Clayton, my brother, welcome, welcome to um, welcome to my show.
Thank you for having me, brother. Thank you for having me.
Welcome to my platform. It is definitely an honor to have you here. And as I was speaking earlier, we was talking about the false accusations of domestic violence that men have to deal with. And I know that you are somebody who had to deal with that. So before we get right into it, um, you could do an introduction. Let all my listeners know who you are, if you would, you know.
All right. What's going on, man? My name is Clay. I'm from Staten Island. Um, I have recently been thrust into the arena as an advocate for domestic violence. Um, I wouldn't say male domestic violence. I want to say domestic violence as a whole, as it's not a singular problem for men, even though the problem is becoming more prevalent in men. Um, I advocate through a charity known as Operation Rocket. It was started by my late mother years ago. I kind of took it over after her death. Um, and I'm thankful for my situation because it's given me some purpose in, something to actually advocate towards under the banner of the flag she created. So, I'm excited about that. Happy to be here.
And I am definitely happy to have you. Let's give him a round of applause real quick. Definitely happy to have you here. Hit him with you want to hit him with the bell? Hit him with the bell. Hit him with the horn. Yes, definitely happy to have you in the house. Now, I was when I was looking over this, and I had explained to you before. When I was looking over this, the one thing that kept like getting to me was that you kept on getting falsely accused of something, and then you kept on getting arrested, but you like being accused of the same thing. But before you answer that, would you just give me like just give me a overview of what is going on? How did this situation begin? Where did it start from? Like,
That's actually a really good question, brother. All right, so this nobody would believe what sometimes in life, bro. The biggest situations in your life will be created by some stupid shit. That's just the truth.
yes, this
And
can happen.
this is one of those situations for me. This started really because you know how some women grow up, and if they
Hmm.
grow up in the wrong environments, it can be kind of oppressive to them.
Yeah.
Girl I was dating was like that. She came from a really oppressive mother. Excuse me. Mother wanted to be in every aspect of her life because the woman had no life herself. Kind of pathetic, not to insult her because I don't want to be insulted. But in any event, this woman felt so the need to be in her daughter's relationship so bad that when something happened, or you actually are the perfect person to express this to.
Yeah.
Like this mother cursed out my mother. You knew my mother.
Oh
And
yeah.
you knew my relationship with her. So once this lady did this, it was a time where I would have kind of blacked on her. But I was at a different space in my life, so I just stopped talking to her, and that was offensive to this lady because she's like, "Yo, how you messing with my daughter and you ignoring me? Who the hell you think you are?" So now this lady puts me on the hit list, and literally starts to focus on trying to separate me and her daughter. Daughter's controlled by the mother. Daughter starts blaming me for everything.
Mm,
Literally everything. The daughter starts blaming me for.
that's
Oh,
crazy.
you don't understand my mom. You don't understand her. Like, well, I gotta understand her. I ain't dating her. I'm dating you. I don't gotta understand her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
I'm not dating your mom. I'm dating you. I'm with you. I'm supposed to be with you. I'm not. If I was sitting there dating your mom, then what I'm sitting here kicking it with you for? That don't make no
exactly,
sense.
exactly. Like
So
we gotta
I'm
wait.
dating your mom, and you sitting there. Your mom. This is one of those. What's this? One of those situations where the mom is too close to the child.
Toxic mother. It's like the
Yeah.
toxic mother syndrome, something like that.
Yeah.
At least that's what psychologists call it. But anyway, so the mother kind of broke us up. She liked to tell people that I'm mad at her mother for breaking us up. How could I be mad at this woman for exposing this girl to be the psycho she is? I actually thank her mother. Like, thank you for not letting me get too close to your daughter because God knows what would have happened if I had children with this woman. Um,
All right.
anyway,
Oh,
George,
that was gonna be my second question.
yes.
If you had children, but you already answered that, so you don't have no children with this woman. So
Nope.
she
We
just
had nothing
sucker.
in common, bro. You know what we had in
Oh,
common? The truth, a dog. And we didn't really have the dog in common.
nah,
I bought the dog.
y'all must have had something more in common.
Nah, we just, like we had to actually, honestly, I gotta be honest, we had a really good relationship because it wasn't one of those relationships that was based on like sex. My mother died, me and her got kind of close, actually developed a friendship and the relationship kind of developed like that. So it was actually kind of solid. So, usually
All
when you
right,
meet somebody and the relationship's
let me
strong,
ask you this. Let me ask you this.
mm,
Did you ever take her on a trip?
yeah, yeah, I did.
There you go. There you go. That's where the
But
psycho no. That's where the psychoness come out. You must have took her somewhere real nice, real fancy, and she was like, "Yo," because this sound like some fatal,
no, actually,
like a
she didn't do
movie.
that.
It
I
sound
can't
like
shit on her.
a
Her mother
fatal
went
type of
psycho on the
movie.
trip. Her mother got psycho on the trip because her mother thought I was tapping her out the whole trip, which I wasn't. But she was cool. She didn't do nothing on the trip. The problem came from Chick mother because Chick didn't want to stand up to her mother. She's 35 years old. She don't want to stand up to her mother. She's scared of her mother.
Wait,
So
wait.
that's what.
Hold up. Say her age again. She's what?
35.
Bruh.
And she don't want to stand up to her mother?
Nah, she's scared of the mother.
Oh, come on.
I got content on my page with the videos, bro. You can listen to it. Her admitting how the mother was stalking me. The mother was stalking me, dude. Like, the mother got mad. I stopped talking to her. The mother started hiding in the bushes, trying to record me when I come pick the daughter up from the house. Calling me 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, asking me, "Am I going to church? What are we doing?" It's 3 o'clock in the morning. We sleep. What the hell are you talking about?
And this was during the relationship?
Yeah, this was during the relationship,
And
yo.
uh,
This was
just,
during the relationship.
just for curious months, how long did this relationship last? Like, how long
Well,
was it?
truthfully speaking, let's see. Me and her started talking in February, a little bit after Valentine's Day, but we didn't really start dating until June. Yo,
Yeah, but like
honestly,
what
bro,
year? Like what year was it?
this was what 21. So we might have dated 6 months. Yo, we didn't even make it a year because her mother wasn't. Her mother destroyed our relationship in 6 months. It took about 6 months, but
In 6 months?
Bruh.
yeah, it took about 6 months because after a while, once the chick get annoying, they don't want to listen. They keep trying to argue with you for stuff you didn't do. You don't want to see them, and
Come
that's
on,
what
that
started happening. I stopped wanting to see her. Then the mother started being spiteful. Like, she had a nephew that he was autistic. He's a good kid, but he's a handful. So the mother used to take the autistic kid from the brother and then make Shorty watch him. So now she become like
wow.
Cinderella, where she got to watch the baby all day. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, yo, you don't got no kids. What you watching this kid for all day? Oh, I got to watch him. I'm like, yo, but he's not yours. What about your life? The mother didn't care about that. The mother tried to Cinderella or keep on by watching the kids. So we never really got to go out. The relationship
And
deteriorated,
then
whatever.
that was during the relationship. So I can
It's
see exactly what you're saying. I can see that that's like being a really, really nosy mother and trying to be in every aspect of your daughter's life, including her relationships. I mean, you're not going to get very far with that. You know what I mean?
nah.
But
And
but
see, the
I
thing about it was they was manipulative because again, like, my mother had passed, so I was in a vulnerable space.
they was
So
manipulating the
as
situation
an
and
older
putting
woman, she played on that pain, that vulnerability I had after my mother passed, really trying to like act like she cared about me and she was nurturing. The truth was she saw that the daughter liked me. So she was trying to keep me close because by keeping me close, she kept the daughter close. But so
yes.
when she cursed me out and I stopped dealing with her, that's when I became a problem. And that's when
Mm,
everything went to shit.
mm. And at
And
this
before that, we were good.
time, so like that so with the what I wanted to ask you about was like, at what point did it come to where you had to start dealing with, because I know at some point you just mentioned that there was some stalking, and I did watch some of your videos to where you said that there were people that was besides the mother that was surrounding her, that was like putting bugs in her ear, I guess,
Yeah.
like
Like,
dropping bugs in her ear. So was during this time did the breakup happen, and then that's when um like all the stalking and stuff had commenced?
well, honestly, talking kind of came in before the people came into effect.
Oh, okay.
The people came into effect because we honestly, you have to give this woman credit. She was smart. What she did was she kind of created a coalition of people that she created that didn't like me by her telling them things or even things she might have knew I disagreed with her with during a relationship. So now that like they say, the enemy of the enemy is my friend. It's like basic algebra. A positive and a negative is a positive. A negative and a negative is a
Mm-hmm.
positive. A positive is a positive. So she played on that. Her being positive, she went to the negatives in my life and tried to turn them into
Turn them
positives
in,
for her.
yeah.
Yeah,
Turn them against you, and turn them into. So she
honestly,
tried,
it worked.
yeah, like you said, she tried to build the whole team, a coalition
Yo,
against
dude,
Clayton. The
it was so
coalition
bad.
against Clayton.
She did, bro. It was so bad, yo. Like, she got that Pastor Victor Brown. She knows the Staten Island District Attorney, Michael McMahon, bro. I got text messages where she tells me she's going to have this guy, the District Attorney of Staten Island, have me arrested for cyber harassment. Now, a year after I
Wow.
win the case against her, dude, guess what they arrest me for? For 3 days after I win a trial against her for harassment. They try to arrest me 3 days after I win the trial and charge me with cyber harassment.
Oh
I
wow.
never did anything to her. I never called her. I literally won the trial 3 days before her report. And in 72 hours, they had a warrant for my arrest.
And that's what I want to get to. That's the part I want to get to is really um, the false arrestment, the false accusations. And I just want to ask you this because, like I said, I binged on your Facebook a little bit there, bruh. You know what I mean? Like, I binged on it just a little bit, but I can probably I could probably think off the right off the top of my bean about three, maybe three different situations where this woman has either had you uh, arrested or just had cops coming to try to arrest you. And I want to ask you, when did that start? When did the false arrestment a false arrest start? And if you can, just elaborate on some of the type of reports that she made against you, because I'm pretty sure this was not anything easy.
No, it was not, brother. It was actually incredibly frustrating.
Yes,
But it started after she robbed me because we broke up. She gets mad that I break up with her.
what? Oh, come on.
Yeah, bro. She got mad. She knew what I cared about. I cared about the dog. So she said to herself, she said, you know what? I'm going to hold on to the dog because by holding on to the dog, she can hold on to some point in the relationship.
Okay,
You
wait a
know,
minute. Can I?
kind of like women use kids with men. She's like, oh, we can raise her. We'll raise her together. And I'm like, yo, she's a dog. What are you talking about? Give me back my damn dog. And she's like, no, that's my baby. I had her most of the time. Now, to tell the truth for this woman, because I am truthful, I did have this woman watching the dog while I worked during the day, because I had a male dog and
Of
this was a female
course,
dog.
of
So you got to
course.
separate them when he starts trying to hump on and shit like that. And I didn't want to do that to the little thing. So, this was my girlfriend at the time. I didn't have a problem leaving her with my dog. I'm thinking I can trust her. She's honorable. She's not going to rob me when we break up, but that's exactly what she did. And how she did it was she took the dog out of an apartment I had in Newark. And then once she had the dog, what she started doing was lying, telling everyone I gave her the dog as a gift in the relationship. Now, in domestic violence, anything, well, if you can't prove that something's yours definitively while you're in a relationship with a woman, and she goes and you two split up, and let's say she goes to court and says she wants this, you gave it to her, they're going to give it to her. It doesn't matter if you paid for it. You know why? Because she's going to claim it as what's called a domestic gift. And because of that claim of domestic gift, it almost gives her as much power as a wife has over you. So that's what this girl did to me. She starts telling the cops that I gave it to her and I'm jealous and mad because she doesn't want to be with me anymore. So I'm harassing her for my property she stole out of my house.
The mess. Wait, she stole. Wait a minute. First off, um, let's give her the dummy buzzer. You gotta give her the dummy buzzer one more time. You don't steal a man's dog, okay, people? You do not steal a man's dog. It's called man's best friend, not woman's best friend. Man's best friend. So why are you trying to steal my dog? So she got to get the dummy buzzer for that. That's just ridiculous. And then I never knew a law like that existed to where
It's
like
not actually a
women.
law. It's not a law,
Oh,
but
so but
it's
they
not a law,
use
but
it.
what they use it under terms of what they call domestic violence emergency law, which is singularly designed to protect women. It's domestic violence is not for men. I don't believe society put it in place and had the intention for men to receive the same protections as women.
No,
Women get no. Women
not
get whatever they want. DV makes a scumbag chick a law abiding citizen. Her word is 100% credible. She could have lied under oath with anything happening, the mayor getting killed. But if she goes to the cops and tells the cops her boyfriend punched her in the face, she won't have a mark on her face. They're gonna throw an I card on her and arrest her.
listen. It is listen, man. I just learned something new, and I hope my listeners learned something new. Cause I didn't know you could try to take somebody pet under something like that.
Yep. That's what they do. That's the new domestic violence, bro. The new domestic violence is people filing
Like,
paperwork on
oh
you and then
no,
using that paperwork to basically torment the shit out you by bringing you back and forth to court multiple times a month in multiple places. And it is torture. Think about it. If you got to keep stopping what you're doing to go sit in court all day, you got somebody lying on you, telling people that you did things to them, especially if you're a man and this person happens to be attractive. You have a problem.
I think she's. I think she put you through that because I'm gonna be honest. You probably gave her some good D. Then you taking the places. You probably treating her better than most men probably was treating her, and you leaving her because I mean there was some problem before that. It sounds like there was some problem before that, but it sounds like when you left, that was like it's like a fatal attraction situation. It sounds like to me. It definitely sounds like a fatal attraction
I'm
situation
gonna
to
be
me.
fair. I honestly, before I didn't think that until a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
A
it
few
sounds
weeks.
like a fatal attraction. Because I also want to ask, like, because I want to know how did all of that affect you? Like, because you
Well,
like this is something like you like I can't like I've been falsely accused of so many minorities, uh us melanin pigmentation people have been falsely accused of so many other different things, but I want to stay focused on this one. But just how did that affect you? Of like, how did you live with that? Because you like, I can't imagine you sitting there one day and you own businesses, you own a business, and you own businesses. You know what I'm saying? And I've worked for you. You know what I mean? So I know how it is, and I know how I know the type of person that you are when it comes to your business, and I know how you deal with. And that's one thing I will say. Can I give him applause for that real quick? You are definitely a very good businessman, but I can't imagine how that would bother you at the time that that was happening. Because what was that like? Like,
well, the truth is, it was annoying as hell. Honestly, it did affect me because she had the cops on Staten Island helping her, and even though they're on Staten Island and they may not operate with the same principles as more ethical cops in New York City, in like areas of the Bronx, Brooklyn, they ain't perfect out there neither. But they don't have the same level of racist intentions, like I believe that the officers on Staten Island have. She has them backing her. So basically, if Staten Island throws any type of paperwork on me, it's going to affect me throughout the whole NYPD. So it limited my ability to come into New York to do business for like a year.
mm,
Because I was always afraid I was going to be arrested. In the beginning, this girl tried to tell people that I raped her, that I sexually assaulted her, that I essayed her. Um, the sad part is it was some local politicians on Staten Island, local advocates, like these guys from True to Life, bunch of places that was actually helping her, because she's an attractive girl. They figure if they help her, she might give them some bucks. You know how corny niggas do when they ain't got the game to get no girl. They try to do sucker stuff, hoping
mm-hmm,
that
mm-hmm.
hoping they can get the girl doing some sucker stuff, helping her get back. So this is what they did to me. Whatever. Um, Long story short, I had to fight. I had to fight hard, bro, and I wasn't really in the place to do it at first because I was coming from a position of anger because of all the stuff this woman did. In all fairness, I was good to her, as you can hear. Like I took her on vacation. I took her 90-year-old grandmother with us on a 2-week vacation.
What?
Like, what? How do you? How bad is a man that
Yo,
that's bad with a woman?
bruh.
Like usually men take women away for 2 weeks, and you don't take a 90-year-old woman with you. That kind of stops you from adult activities. But I cared about her.
Forget the adult activities. That's an extra person now. It's only me and you. That's three people. You know how much that costs?
It did actually, but that wasn't really the issue at the time. It
That
was
would
kind
be
of
my issue.
more like like these was people I thought was genuine. I thought they had been there for me as far as after the death of my mother. So the 1 year anniversary to that unfortunate incident was happening. So I figured it'd be a good idea to have some people who I thought had some love for me around me, and I invited them. Worst mistake I could have made, bro. They showed themselves to be the garbage they are on that trip. Not her. I can't even say her, bro, because she didn't really do nothing. It was her mother and her grandmother, yo. Like her mother and her grandmother did that. She didn't do nothing. She didn't show her ass till we
They
got
just
back
they
and I
just
broke up with her.
they just hated you.
They really did, yo. The
Um
grandmother didn't do much until she found out about my daughter. Once she found out that I had a daughter, that was it. Because I was good long as I didn't have no kids. But once I had kids, nah, I wasn't good no more.
okay, so you dated this woman before you had your child?
Yeah, I did. When I started dating this woman, I found out my daughter's mother was pregnant. And I told this woman from the beginning, I was like, yo, listen, so the woman found out I was dating this girl because I told her, and she stops talking to me. So I wasn't a part of my child's, like, I guess, what do you call that period? The pregnancy. I wasn't top part of any of that because the
But
mother lived.
but it sounded like
Yeah,
it was like an open relationship. So it's like,
nah, it wasn't. She just wouldn't talk to me because I didn't want to date her. So she started basically like icing me out, trying to ice me out the child's life. That was like a premonition of the years to come, anyway. So I actually found out I had my daughter because one day when I was on vacation with the crazy chick, I thought about the girl and the baby. When I got back, I was talking to the girl, and she was like, "Yo, maybe you should just try to find another way to talk to her." So I went, I bought a burner phone, I called her. Turns out the day I was thinking about the baby, she had the baby. So maybe that was
oh
God's.
wow. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
God's way of telling you had it. So
Um,
let me no, go ahead, continue.
So I had to fight hard for that, bro. Because like the girl like tried to date someone else. The mother wasn't with that. The mother didn't want anyone else around her daughter because when women have a tendency to be like jealous
Mm-hmm.
of a man's daughter,
Mm-hmm.
and the mother was right for that. But I didn't want to be fake. I'm dating this woman. I love this woman. You can't. The way you start is the way you finish. I can't hide this woman from my daughter. How is it supposed to work with me doing that? So I tried to do the right thing. Unfortunately, this woman wasn't. She wasn't somebody to do the right thing with. She
Ooh,
made shit hell. Hell.
ooh, you said something. You said what? Say that again. You said the way you what?
The way you start something, bro, the way you're gonna finish it, man. You start something off bad, it's gonna end bad. You start off lying, you're gonna be lied to. You start off cheating, you're gonna be cheated on.
Yes, that is it. You heard that? That is the message for the day, people. To all my listeners, I hope you heard that message. Um, yeah, that was the bomb for the day. I have another question. How does uh um because I don't know if you're still going through this situation, but
I am, fortunately, I am.
oh wow. Then my question is, how is this situation affecting your family? Is it like, what is it?
Well, let's see. It has affected my family. I don't really deal with any
Yeah.
of my family who hasn't supported me through this. I'm not dealing with it because family supports each other. So if you ain't supported me during this, I ain't fucking with you. And that's just being real. It's
Yeah.
affected my relationship with my daughter because this very same woman, I was really trying not to mention this, but since you asked, I will. This same woman kind of getting angry because, you got daughters actually, bro, so you'll
Yeah,
understand
I
this.
know. I know.
My daughter's first Valentine's Day come around. I want to do something nice for her. Now she's a baby. She's like 8 months old. She don't even know what fucking day it is.
Mm-hmm.
She know what food tastes like. She know what she feel good, but she don't know what's going on. So me trying to just start something off nice, I go buy her a bunch of stuff for Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day, this woman comes to my house. My daughter's there. I had dated her for a few months. We were actually broken up at the time. That's the funny part. But I had dated her for a few months, and I wanted to spend Valentine's Day with her. So I'm like, all right, come through. It's me and my daughter. It's gonna work. Anyway, she gets to the house. She sees a bunch of balloons. She sees some cards on the dresser. She asked me, was they for her? And I said, nah, they're not for you. But I was playing. Some of them was for her. Some of them was for my daughter. Anyway, I go back downstairs to go get something. I come back. This chick like snaps. She loses her fucking mind. She done popped all the balloons in the bedroom and ripped up the cards. And my daughter's screaming at the top of her lungs. So I'm trying to figure out why the fuck the baby's screaming. She don't even
Mm.
talk. She's on the phone with her grandmother in my kitchen, but she's ignoring my daughter. Like she's not even in there trying to see why my daughter is screaming, and my daughter's screaming like somebody tried to kill her. Long story short, I find out that this chick in a jealous rage because I guess she got jealous. She thought I bought my daughter more stuff than her. She popped all the balloons I bought them both for Valentine's Day, ripped up the cards, and smacked my infant daughter. Um,
Wow.
yeah, so she was fucking crazy. So now I try to kick her out the crib, but she knows she's smart, bro. So what she do, like when I got so mad, I was gonna park her, bro. Like I was gonna break her jaw when I realized she hit my daughter, but she like braced herself and stuck her face out for me to do it.
Can't hit the
You
kids,
know, like
man.
yeah,
Can't
like
hit the
I'm
kids.
around. I've been around. I ain't stupid. Like I might punch somebody in the face, but I ain't going to hit you if you sitting there like, yeah, come on, hit me, hit me. Now I
Mm-hmm.
ain't stupid. I'm not going to hit you because you're telling me to hit you. Clearly, you trying to set me up on something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Definitely.
I realized it and I kicked her out the house. She leaves the house. She starts screaming at the top of the lungs, like when the cops come, she going to tell them I beat her, all this other stuff. Um, got crazy, bro. So I ended up having to get her back in the house because, you know, I was there with my daughter. I didn't need the cops to come and her lie and say I hit her and then get arrested.
Mm.
Um,
And
it
that's
took
what
me
they do.
it took me 2 days to get her to go home. Once I get her to go
Mm.
home, I break up with her. I break up with her. She doubles back to my house with the key. She lied and told me she lost a month before. She robs me fucking blind. Takes the dog, takes some money, takes some paperwork for a business that I started to help her out. And she ended up trying to make it like a couple thing. But I'm not the type of man who want to live off of something my woman created. But if I have a vested interest in it, I would like my vested interest to be respected, which I think in all situations where you with a woman or with a man, that's what you want as a couple. Balance, equality. You know what I'm saying? Long story short, I break up with her. She gets mad. She tries to steal the entire business from me and starts
Wow.
lying, telling people that I robbed her for the business. Mind you, I was thousands of dollars paid in on building this business already. You know, like she was foul, bro. She looks harmless. She looks innocent. She's well spoken. She's intelligent. But those are the worst types, bro. Those are the wolves in
The
sheep's clothing.
beautiful
Those are the
ones.
ones you gotta watch. Those are the ones you gotta watch out for. The calculated, intelligent, beautiful ones
The
because they
beautiful ones.
manipulate people with that beauty.
Mm. Only
And
thing
she's
I
a master of that.
we gotta give her the dummy buzzer one more time. I can't believe that she did that. And at at any point did you take any legal action against her to try to
Well, that's the funny part. I wasn't trying to because, you know, like honestly, I'm not afraid to admit it because I've been through so much. I was in love with her. I didn't want to put her in jail. So I'm like, yo, just give me back the fucking dog. Like you acting like an asshole. Give me back the dog. So I'm trying to talk to her like a regular man talking to woman. We might be arguing, but we still talking. I'm like, yo, get back the dog. You know you're wrong. She's admitting it. But that mother that I mentioned earlier is all in business. Like that song from back in the days, your mom was in my business. She in my
business?
business.
Yeah, can't you see, girl? Your mama's trying to end this. What?
Well, that's the song. So she didn't see what her mother was doing. So her mother, she robs me. Her mother starts making her go to the precinct on Staten Island, accusing me of domestic violence. Now I didn't notice. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm literally thinking I'm arguing with my ex, just trying to get my stuff back, but I'm not trying to hurt her. I ain't threatening her. I'm not calling and hanging up on her. I'm literally just trying to get my stuff. And her brother is actually helping me. Her oldest brother. That
Mm.
goes to that goes to show you how much I must have been right if the older brother was going to the house trying to get it back because he knew she robbed
You
me.
need to try to get some evidence against the mother and the grandmother and try to
I
prosecute
do.
them.
I do. I got the recordings where the girl said what they did to me. You know,
Ooh!
you can't prosecute them because they gave her bad advice that she chose to listen to. You know, like that's not their fault. People tell you advice, you choose to
Yeah,
follow the
you
advice
choose to
people give
follow
you.
it or not.
So they told her to do all this to me, and she did it to get revenge. Now she got to live with the consequences. Her record is messed up. Her life
Mm.
has been. They old as shit. They on their way out. You know what I'm saying? She's a young, beautiful woman. She got her whole life ahead of her.
And another question I have is that um well, let me remember the question I had before. Yes, but because I know it has affected like you just said, it affected your family as far as you and your child. Has it affected like like any of your cousins, your aunts, your uncles, your siblings, like
Nah, they like
they has they
honestly,
been have they been supportive behind you in this
nah. But
situation?
it has cut the grass. But I've had some family who have supported me. Like yo, that's crazy. Like, I can't believe she's still doing all this because they liked her. They thought she was a good person. They can't believe that she's actually still pushing all of this, especially now that I've proven myself to be innocent so many times by having the cases dismissed and with the recordings.
Yes.
Like even the people who didn't want to believe me had to believe me once they really heard the recordings. Because the recordings told you everything. Clearly, you heard her being hurt in the recordings. You heard her begging for the
Yes,
relationship.
and some of the recordings I've heard you have on your platform, on your Facebook platform, you have the recordings and some of the text messages. Even some of them, I'm not going to repeat what she said on, but I was just like, yo, what the?
And it makes you wonder what the hell is wrong with her, knowing I have her on tape saying those things. Like, why would you
Yeah,
try to
because this.
deceive people into believing you was abused when your ex got you on tape admitting that he never did anything to you? Your mother was
Mm-mm.
after. But that's the power I hate, bro. Like, she got people, and for whatever reason, they might not have liked me because, like, maybe they was jealous I was with her. I don't know. Maybe they jealous because of something in me. I don't know. Maybe they just man hated some of the women that's hate helping her. I don't know. But for whatever reason, these people were determined to make this girl the victim. They didn't care that I had recordings. They didn't care that she lost the trial. They didn't care that there were text messages where she was literally admitting that she stole the dog and using the dog to make me sign a business over that we both own. They didn't care about none of that shit. They only kept focused on the fact of me arguing with her and cursing her out after she robbed me. Who
And,
doesn't get mad after somebody robs them?
and if yeah, of course, and if I may ask, how many times, like, because on some of your episodes, like you've had to bail yourself out, and
Yeah,
how many?
actually.
Yeah, so I mean, like how many times? I'm gonna give you. It's a two-part question. So it's how many times have you been actually jailed on this, and at the end of the day, are some of them willing to are some of the judges willing to just if you were found guilty? Because I don't know if you were found guilty of any of um the complaints that she made, but if any, are they gonna like expunge, if anything, like let them go, if
Well,
anything?
New York State will expunge a prosecution, but an arrest can never come off your record. So the arrest won't come off my record. But to answer your question, I've never been prosecuted against. I've never been prosecuted completely for any of the false allegations she's put on me. I've been arrested twice. They put 3 warrants on me for reports she's made, but the first time they put the report on me, I immediately contacted NYPD Internal Affairs and reported the officer because many of the officers involved in this have been racially motivated to arrest me as a minority male. That has been their motivation. It's not the safety of this woman. It's the fact that I'm a black man with a former criminal record.
Mm,
So it's an easy layup for them. Like, okay, yeah, he did this, arrest him.
it's an
Cops
easy tag.
they work off stats. They got to get a certain amount of
Mm-hmm.
arrests. So she comes in, makes a complaint. He already don't like niggas. So, this is a nigga with a record, and this is a pretty girl saying he did something. You know what? We're not even going to investigate this. We're going to arrest him. And that's what they do. So literally, remember, bro, she robbed me. So she robs me. The court, I spent 8, 9 months going back and forth to court trying to get the court to help me get my dog back. Finally, I get a court in New Jersey to order her to return the dog or they're going to issue a warrant for her arrest. That
Wow.
motivates her to finally give back the dog. But before she gives back the dog, she starts a counterattack. She goes into the state of New Jersey. She files 5 false police reports on me, takes the copies of those police reports, goes to family court, gets her own no contact order based off a bunch of lies she told, trying to get them to rescind the warrant to take the dog off. But they didn't do that. But based off her lies, they gave her an order of protection. So now I come to Staten Island that day to get the dog. That night, the cops are trying to help her. Mind you, I'm the victim. I'm the one with a criminal court order and an order for her to return this dog or she's going to be arrested. But the white cops on Staten Island, out where she lived at, all the way in Arden Place, all the way out by the mall, they didn't want to hear that I was the victim. So literally, they're trying to treat me like I'm the perp, and I got the order. Um, Finally, I get there. They served me with her order. Literally, while they're giving me back my stolen property, they pushed this order that she conjured up on me in like 3 days. So now I take the dog back July 12th. July
Wow.
13th. July 13th, she walks into the precinct on Staten Island and lies and tells them I tagged her. Now, the truth is, she tagged me on Instagram and I asked her to leave me alone. That's it. I responded, say, yo, leave me alone, go about your life. She takes that to the precinct. Now, you see, she tags me. You see, I respond. But the cops still put a warrant on me. So they put a warrant on me and I contact Internal Affairs. And Internal Affairs investigates and realizes that this cop fucked up and he did something he ain't supposed to do. This is what prompted them to dismiss that warrant finally, because they got discovered by Internal Affairs. But they came after
Wow.
me literally like 2 weeks later after she lost the trial. They came
Mm.
after me again. They let her file a report, and then they immediately put a warrant on me. It took them like 5 months for me to come to New York for a New York family court hearing, and then they arrested me in family court, and then they tried to arrest me again in November.
Mm-mm. Wow. And she's done this in more than just New York City. I want to let my
Yeah.
listeners understand this, that she's done this in just more than New York City. She's also done this in the state of Jersey. Am I correct?
She's done it in 2 states and 3 different municipalities.
Wow.
She literally took all of the charges from the New Jersey trial and took them into New York and said I lied on her. Now, even though dude, this is the power of racism and bigotry in government offices. Now, they knew. Now, when you win an order of protection in another state, especially a state with reciprocity,
Mm-hmm.
there's a registry for domestic violence orders. So the other state can literally look up the order and know it's valid. And under domestic violence law, any order given in any state within the U.S., all 52 states, is valid in any other states, and the conditions are enforceable.
This
That's
is
a that's
this
a
is very
federally
true.
protected
Yes.
domestic violence statute. I can't cite the statute right now. So my order from New Jersey is legal even in New York. I don't have to register it with the New York court. It's already registered. As soon as I cross the border, I have the same protections against the person who's on that order. I'm trying to get those protections. They don't want to give them to me. So again, bro, I win the trial in December. She comes to Staten Island. There was a warrant on her. Dude, they dismissed the warrant in 3 days. And the fourth day, she goes back into the same precinct that has had a warrant for her, and she tells them I call her. Now, in domestic violence, bro, if you have an order against you, and a girl says you called her, that's not enough. They're not going to arrest you. She needs proof you called her, a screenshot of a call, a text, something. This woman, who had just gotten convicted for losing an order of protection for harassment and burglary, walked into the 120 precinct that had a warrant on her 4 days before she walked into the precinct. Tells them I called her with no proof of the phone call. They immediately throw an I-card on me. I'm eventually charged with offenses that happened 3 months before the order of protection was even filed. Now, legally, bro, you cannot be charged with an offense that happened before you were served with an order of protection.
Mm-hmm.
But the Staten Island, the racist detective squads and the DA, they work together so closely in a little like old school boys club of racism. The cop figured he could charge me with anything because the prosecutor was just going to make me cop out to it. So this dumb racist detective, excuse me, he charges me with an offense that happens 3 months before the petition's even filed because he's just assuming that I'm a broke black man who's going to have a public defender, and the public defenders work with the DAs because that's their whole relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So they
Mm-hmm.
actually tried to make me cop out to stalking this woman, a woman who I had been begging them to get to leave me the hell alone. They
Mm.
tried to offer me a plea to stalking. I said, oh, hell no, we're going to go to trial.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
So, God is good, though. Ultimately, I was able to get the transcripts. I was able to prove definitively that she's a liar. The problem is that it's like back in the oppressive days, bro. The slave master don't like it when the slave workers put you on notice. And I kind of did that by speaking as loudly as I did about what the district attorney and the DA did to me. So now they don't really want to help. The domestic violence programs on Staten Island, they will give me no advocacy. The DA hasn't even attempted to charge this girl with the multiple false reports they know she has made that's been dismissed because they were false reports. The NYPD won't arrest her for false reporting. What happens is whenever I'm arrested and my lawyers prove I didn't do it, they simply drop the case against me and then ignore all of my complaints.
Wow. That's messed. I'm upset that you have to go through the system.
Yeah. It's
Because
not a
every time she
comfortable.
make a false report, you have to go through that system to prove your innocence.
And that's the sad part. That's where they violate our due process and our rights, bro. Because as citizens, we have rights to certain
Mm-hmm.
processes and procedures. Now, these detectives, they take a test to increase their pay grade to become investigators. So they're supposed to investigate crimes, but they don't investigate crimes. They use what's called, again, domestic violence emergency law to make these arrests under the guise that them arresting the person is for the safety of the person who complained. Now, what they're really doing is they're just using this little law, this little loophole to boost up their statistics. So now they boost up their statistics. It looks like they're actually fighting crime. And not saying they're not, because, New York is a lot better than we were growing up as kids, bro. We got to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah,
The
it
crime
was.
is that. But they're using it to make easy arrests. And in making these easy arrests, they're violating the rights of innocent people. And we're not just saying minorities, because they're doing this to white men, they're doing this to black men, they're doing this to Asian men. Like, it's become such a useful tool for people nowadays to use the law enforcement system to harass and menace you, that it's a major problem, bro.
It is. We call them non-melanin, non-pigmentation people on this show. We don't use the phrase black or white. I'm just letting you know. I mean, well, I don't use the phrase black or white,
Oh,
but
it's,
you good, you clean, you good.
it's definitely a problem that we're dealing with, though, because it's the truth of the situation. Why color the language if the language is already being spoken by so
Yeah,
many people?
but I
It's kind of
think I think it's because it's too normalized. But that's a different situation. That's a different conversation that we could have. Okay, that's a complete different conversation. Maybe you could join me on my I'm going to do a podcast about black and white. That name calling of black and white. We're working that out, but um, it's like to anybody. I want to ask you this, and this is my final question to you. To anybody that's dealing with your situation or similar situation to yours, what advice do you do you have for them?
that's an excellent question, brother. And I'm glad you asked. The advice I would have for anybody who goes through a domestic violence situation with an offender who is not violent, but who is more calculating, means they're a thinker, they're scheming, they're a manipulator, is one, stay calm. Don't allow the things they're doing to provoke you to be a person that you're not, because that's what they're doing. They're trying to paint you in the worst light to garner as much support against you as they can get. It's like the old expression goes, there's strength in numbers. You know what I'm saying? Like, isn't that the expression? Yeah, there's strength in numbers. The more people you can gather against a problem, the easier it is to solve that problem. And this is the power of someone who is able to manipulate other people. That's exactly what they're going to do to you. So the first thing I'm going to say is you got to stay calm. The next thing you have to do is you yourself have to become calculated. You got to document as much of the negative behavior as you can and get as much clear proof that it's going on. Don't try to memorize statements. That's not what I mean by document. I mean, you got a smartphone nowadays, ladies and gentlemen. We live in 2023. People got iPhones and Androids. You should learn how to use the self-record feature. When they start bugging out, telling you how nobody, brother, this girl, you know something, honestly, bro, as much as this woman did to me, I love and respect her because she made me a better person. She did so much messed up stuff to me. She has made me a superior person. I've learned how to not have myself ever becoming no shit like this again. This has been real, bro.
You
This
learned
has
the
been
lesson.
real. This has been some real stuff, brother. This has been real, bro. So document everything. Like, if they say something, you better be like the cowboy from the West with that phone and put the record button on. Don't ever let them know you're recording. Now, I say don't let them know you're recording them for two reasons. One, people tend to tailor their conduct when they know they're being recorded.
Hmm.
It's not about being sneaky. You want to catch them as naturally as possible. Now, if you're in the state of New York, but I think actually New York is a one-party state to a degree. But some states that if someone doesn't want to be recorded, you legally can't record them. But fortunately for us being in New York and New Jersey, that doesn't apply. So as long as you're okay with the recording yourself, meaning you approve for it, legally you can record someone else. So you want to do that. You want to document as much of the stuff they're doing. So when the time comes and the war begins, because it will, that you have enough to show law enforcement. Um, the third thing I could do really is you got to do your due diligence, man. You can't be lazy. Once the process starts where you see this person is filing orders on you and attacking you, you got to do your diligence. If you don't have money, you better develop the energy, I would say, and the work ethic to read and figure out what to do, or you're going to be screwed. Learn how to fill out a motion, go to the centers, go to the free programs, figure out, get as much help as you can to fight your situation. And lastly, again, bro, I'm gonna reiterate one: stay calm, bro. You gotta stay calm, bro. I made that mistake. I had people trying to destroy me because I was angry because of what this woman, who I had done so much for, from what you heard, was legitimately doing to me. I had a right to be angry, but when people want to hate you, when people want a reason to be against you because they favor someone else, they're gonna use your pain against you. So that's why the best advice I give, and I gave it twice, was you got to stay calm. You got to stay calm. And that's really it, bro. Those three things. One reiterated twice to make it four, but really those three things.
Thank you so much, bro. Thank you. Thank this really. Thank you, bro. Thank you.
I hope so, man. Hopefully, something we say out there impacts somebody. Because a lot of people are going through this problem. I've realized, in my selfishness, I thought it was just me. I guess through maturity, I thought I real maturity, advocacy, and just basically making the rounds, doing my own due diligence. I see it's a huge problem that's not only I'm facing, like tens of thousands of people are facing the
Yes.
war, the personal war that is being waged on them
Yes.
by a partner
Yes.
they don't want to be with. Breaking up is not a crime. My ex actually invented this statement when she was socially slandering me, but it's an excellent statement that she created. Breaking up is not a crime. You should not be made a criminal because you don't want to be with somebody. I
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't break up with you and then you start filing false police reports on me because you mad I don't want to be with you no more. That's wrong. You're harassing me doing it. Usually, if you love somebody, the best thing to do is give them the space to realize they love you back. And if it's meant to be, they'll come back. But when you start doing fucked up stuff, all you're doing is making somebody hate you, and they never gonna come back. And that's what she did to herself.
Yes, that's what she did. Yo, Clayton, bro. Thank you so much for being on my show. Thank you for so much for coming on my platform. Let's drop a horn for Clayton. Drop that ball. Thank you so much, brother, for being on my show. I am so honored that you came on to my platform to to discuss the situation. That you just came onto this platform to discuss this situation because it is a situation that's not really focused on. But like that's the reason why I do what I do. And I want to thank you because you did help in your own way. You don't know it, but you did help inspire me to start this platform, to see somebody like yourself and like me, and you start your own business and you were able to employ people within your local community and then help them. That was something that definitely inspired me to start this page. I want to thank you very much for that, bro. I really it is really a true honor to have you here.
No problem, brother. Iron sharpens iron. You're my brother, so I make you sharper, you make me sharper. We both sharpen each other.
All right. For all my listeners, tell them where they could check you out at because you have a foundation as well. But tell them where they could check you out to hear more of the content that you have on this situation because I'm pretty sure there are some listeners out there who definitely enjoyed the story and we've mentioned like plenty of times the different videos that you have posted up and you have a lot of them, so let them know where they can find those videos and also where your organization is, bro. Let them know.
Well, the name of the organization is Operation Rock, rescuing our communities. It's meant to be a unifying factor in the communities to bring people together, bring organizations together. kind of stop what happened to me, where people let organizational politics or personal relationships stop them from doing the jobs that the community and God has set them to do. So that's really the purpose of Operation Rock, kind of bringing our communities together, bringing the people, bringing the programs together to do the right thing to help the people who need it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I can be found online, any of my content at Operation Rock on TikTok, Operation Rock on Instagram, and Operation Rock Rescuing Our Communities on Facebook, all pretty much uniform. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. And our website is operationrock.org. There you can make any donations. Even $1 helps. They go for programs to stop false police reporting, advocate for victims of domestic violence, investigative services to help people disqualify false charges against them by hiring investigators, citing evidence, subpoenaing phone records. Just basically helping people do the things that inexperience might not allow them to do, to help them get out of the situation that I was put in. I'm just trying to use my experience, hoping that the things I learned can help other people so they don't have to deal with the same drama I did.
Let's drop a bomb for that one. Drop a bomb. Give him the blowhorn. Thank you. I want to thank you for being on my platform, and we so appreciate uh, what you are doing on your platform. Again, Clayton, thank you again for coming on my show. All right, thank you so much, brother. Thank you.
Thank
I
you for
will
having
see
me.
you later. Huh?
Thank you for having me, brother.
Yo, it has been definitely a pleasure. Definitely a pleasure. All right. So I'm gonna cut out right now. Right. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much. All right. Peace out. I want to definitely thank my guests for calling in. Let's give them another round of applause, please. And I want to say this as my final thought to all my listeners. I hope that y'all really listened and paid attention to what this man is going through and has been going through, because this happens nationwide. This happens to men nationwide, not just to men, but to different people nationwide. Okay, and this should not happen. But as you have heard, this affects this man's life and damn near every shape, form, and fashion. And this is somebody who is falsely accusing him, falsely accusing him of domestic violence. I mean, people, we have to really think about how much the domestic violence happens in this country. How many men and women die or just suffer the abuse and trauma of domestic violence. The percentage is high, and it should not be high. Ladies and gentlemen, just leave these situations. Why does it have to come down to physical violence? Because remember this, at one point, you actually loved this person. You actually cared for this person. You actually had some type of interest in this person. Now, I'm not telling you what to do, but my suggestion is this: the same interest that you had in the person when you met them, take that same amount of energy to walk away from them. Now, I'm not saying my guess was wrong or bad in any way. He chose to walk away, and still this woman continued to pursue. And it was the people around her, to me, that infected her mind in the way that she thought, the way that she thinks. Understand this, people. Everybody's not in the same relationship you are. You chose a person just like a person chose you. They chose a relationship with you, not with everybody around with you, not with your family members, not with your friends, just with you. Until that situation expires, most situations you need to keep between you and your mate. Now, I'm not saying you ain't gonna run around out there and be like, "Oh, girl, he did this," or "Yo, shorty did this," or da 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 da. Yeah, you gonna chat a little bit. That's something that's common. Everybody does that, but don't put everything out there. And if you're going to tell a story, tell the truth. Because you lying on somebody, it can come back and bite you in the butt. And in this situation, like a lot of situations, sometimes the police act in a racial way. Because as he clearly said, they were racially profiling this man. For what reason? And he didn't commit no crime. Now, a lot of us melanin people are put in jail, in prison, on false allegations and have to prove our innocence. And some of us can't afford it. We can't. Some of us can, some of us can't. But imagine this somebody doing something to you just to get back at you, because it I'm just saying it's obvious, because that person don't want you back. Why would you put them through that? They don't want you, they don't want you. Move on. Take the L.
Bruh.
Take the L.
Bruh.
And move on. There's no reason why this man should be with dealing with what he's dealing with in the situation that he's in. That this woman is trying to ruin not just his life, but the life of his family. And she has not been in prison. Now, according to me, this is a non-melon. I don't know, non-melon. Yeah, non-melon woman. So the racism is there, and that needs to end, and that needs to stop. This is just one of many situations that this is brought into. Somebody who's doing right, doing what they're supposed to do, and a successful person at that. But yet they get hit with false accusations. Well, I got it, Ed. I got the word, bro. Don't like. I got it. False accusations, and then they got this stigma on them. They're being looked at a certain way, in a way that they're not. Ladies and gentlemen, I really hope that you paid attention to all my listeners. I really hope that you did. That's my view, and that's my opinion on this topic. I definitely want to thank my guests for tuning in. Thank you so much for tuning in. And um, in honor of my guests, I would like to dedicate this episode to my guest's mother, the Reverend Maggie Howard of the Stapleton UAME Church in Staten Island, New York. I would like to dedicate this episode to her and her passing Reverend Howard, I miss you so much. I love you so much. I don't know what else to say after that. I just miss you and I love you so much. I just wish that you was here. All right. To all my listeners, I want to thank you for tuning in. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you are here with me, and I so appreciate that. Also, stay blessed and not stressed. Until next episode, I'll see you guys later. All right. Peace out.